Alright. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We've got Dark in the bottom right side of the map here. It is the SOOP Global number 16 show match, a best of 7 between him and Team Liquid's Cure. Cure, of course, a fantastic Terran player, a Terran player who struggles in the chaos and the pace of a TVC. But he's found ways to simplify this matchup recently and has been turning it in his favor, and he's been doing that through the power of 8 racks. He likes to dictate the aggression and choose the pace of where things go. Likewise, if he can slow the game down to mega late game and get planetaries and ghosts and libs everywhere, he suddenly also becomes a very top tier player. But there's a dangerous moment in the mid game when both players are near max and there's fights going in on 3-4 places where a guy like Dark, who is just so instinctively natural to playing those scenarios, so good at sending the wild counterattacks at his opponent's production, that's where Dark's going to have the advantage. And Dark's going to want to make it messy in the mid game, create as much multitasking as possible, because we do know Cure's weakness, like I said, it is multitasking, and it's going to be all about Dark trying to distract Cure, pull his attention left, right, and center, and then that is when the big Banelings are going to roll into those Marines and find the damage. We'll see if Dark can pull this series out. A best of 7 between him and Cure is almost always very hard fought and very close, but Dark does have a heavy favorite in the overall win results. There's a lot of 2-1s, a lot of 3-2s, a lot of 4-3s, but at the end of the day, Dark comes out on top, I'd say 2 out of 3 times, roughly. CV going across the map there. Okay, so what I'm excited for, by the way, for those who are tuning in right now, whether you're live or on YouTube, we've got a lot of Zerg vs. Terran coming in. A lot of people have been complaining, we want more Zerg vs. Terran, where is it? Well, guess what? The last few weeks, our Korean boys, our Korean Zergs, our Korean bugs have been gifting us a lot of good StarCraft action. So we're going to be casting later today, live, on the best games of StarCraft. Lots of Rogue, Solar, Dark, you know, in a lot of different Zerg versus Terran series. So it's going to be a lot of Zerg versus Terran. People are complaining there's too much. It was all just PvZ or PvT. More often than not PvT, and I think our European Zergs are letting us down a little bit there. A Laser, Lambo, come back, play more games. Rainer, please, guys. We know Cyril's not going to play a weekly tournament, but we would love to have some more Zerg representation in those weekly events, and it's just been very light for the last 6 months, but now that the World Cup has been announced, I am hoping players are grinding, trying to get in form for that $700,000 World Championship. It's going to be held in July, just a few months out, so it's not a lot of time for players to prepare. Zergling's going to go to the right side, Reaper dancing, and it's a third command center for Cure. Very standard opening. Starport goes down after that, and of course he's going to swap down, start building Hellions, and then he's going to go for the second gas after the Hellions start. I wouldn't be surprised if Cure starts the series a bit greedy with a Viking, just kills Overlords, you know, maybe a Liberator, doesn't commit to the Banshee, just because I think it's a good idea to be greedy in game 1 against Dark. Like, he's playing a standardish build, is Dark. Well, yeah, snuck 4 Zerglings around. Hold on. 8 seconds till Hellions are out. Let's see if they can find an SCV or 2. Great response for Cure. Really good response. Immediately mineral walks these SCVs into the main base. Yes, Ling Speed finishes, but the Hellions, they come out, but 2 SCVs go down anyway. Reaper looking for those kills. Gets all of the Zerglings at least. 4 Zerglings for 2 SCVs, cost for cost. It's a dead even trade, but always happy to trade a few Zerglings for SCVs, because those SCVs, man, they're going to get money over time. Now, it is actually safety Banshee for Cure. Second gas is mining on that natural. Meanwhile, Dark just building up drones, Zerglings, Queens. Supply blocked on 58 a little, but it's not a bad supply block. You can see he doesn't have a huge amount of lava sitting there idle. Queen counts at 4, about to be at 6 as these 2 Overlords come out. Reaper Hellion actually poking the Queen rather aggressively, getting a bit of damage on her. Not the biggest deal. Queens will regenerate. 8 more drones building behind this. No second gas just yet. You can see just classic rule of 1 gas for Dark, looking to saturate all 3 mineral ends. The reason he goes for the early lair is because he's assuming that there's a Banshee. He actually hasn't seen it. He saw a tech lab on the barracks, and maybe that timing told him, yeah, you're probably going to swap over and build a Banshee. Banshee is the most standard, so this is the most kind of usual way for Zerg to play. And now, as his third base fills up, extra gas in the main, extra gas in the natural. You can see here, pre-5 minutes, he'll start exploding on the way towards 4 or 5 gases, and a very quick 4th hatchery, putting Cure on notice. Cure, you need to do something about that. He's saying, hey, you're playing really standard 3 command center into Hellion Banshee? Guess what? I'm going to build a 3rd, and then, a 4th base before 5 minutes. Good luck dealing with that, bro. Double Evo chamber. So this puts economic pressure on Kua. Kua needs to either do some damage or be super greedy and effective himself back at home. He's going to try to go for the hatchery. I think the Queens should be able to save this. That lair is almost done. Cloak just finishing. The Banshee could have turned around to fight, but the lair has also finished. So we should be seeing an Overseer morphing at any moment now. Roach Roar and Double Evo Chamber does go down. So it's going to be a double Roach opening off of the Queen Zergling. Usually, if you play so heavy on the Queen and the Zerglings like this, you're looking to do a 1-1 Roach all-in, and you're trying to hide those Roaches, which is why that Roach Roarin's in the back. Now, Queens are up here in the main. Not a single Overseer has made, which is very sloppy. He already saw the Banshee, but he did not make an Overseer. What's the point in going for a fast lair if you don't build the Overseer, mate? Going to be losing 5 or 6 drones easily. Maybe even more. 7 drones going down. And still no Overseer. Where is it? Okay, it's coming. It's coming. Finally, it is coming from the low ground. Going to be going down the south for some reason. That Overseer heading forth across the map. Those Queens do push it back. 10 drones, very nice damage. Hydra Den's on the way for Dark. He still might look for the big Roach timing, but I feel like after taking that damage, he's not going to have as much faith in it. Kua, a bit lazy with his pathing, does fly over those Queens. One Banshee goes down. And yeah, indeed, Dark does build the Infestation Pit. Expect him to go up to 80 drones now, or at least 75, because he's realizing, wow, we took a bunch of damage. He sees kind of what we're doing. I don't think I can surprise him with the 1-1 Roach anymore. Let's pivot. Here we go. Transfuse could be nice. He's killing 10 drones. GG at GM level. 10 drones is very contextual. If it's 10 drones going down at the 3-minute mark, yes. Probably. Probably a good game at that point. But this was 10 drones at about 5.5 minutes. It's much later in the game. It was 10 drones off of a player who already had 60 out. It's a much smaller percentage of your economy. It's very, very lesser damage. You always want to look at the context of everything, guys. 10 drones does not really matter too much in that regard. It's just unnecessary damage, considering Dark had the answer. He had the lair up fast, but he just forgot to make the Overseer straight away. So it's not that it's going to end the game. It's just going to be Kua getting a bit of value that he shouldn't have been finding based on how well Dark's build order was matched up against his. Double Drop's going to go into that main base. Hive's halfway done. 7 more Overlords on the way. Dark's lucky to not be getting hit by any crisp attacks. This is classic Dark, where, you know, he had 22 Roaches, but that was all. And you can imagine if there was like a big Marine tank attack, even though you shouldn't really be doing that into a Roach Ravager style, it might have actually caught him off guard, just because he was so supply blocked for so long. Hydra's now coming out. 2-2 upgrades are started for the Zerg. 1-1 just now finishing for Terran. Let's see how quick Kua is. Instantly starts 2-2. And I don't think he's looking for damage anymore. He's just looking to be annoying with these medevacs. This is purely an annoyance, distraction sort of force. Just staying active. And the 8 barracks are up. Pure Marine production behind this. Vipers will be ready for this 8 racks. On paper, tech-wise, I think Dark's wrecking him, because he's got 2-2 and Vipers. But numbers-wise, he's playing Roach Hydra, he's down in supply. And the 2-2 is not really going to matter. So this is a big problem right now, because you can see this attack coming forward. It's a giant commitment with the 8 racks. And as good as Blinding Cloud is, the raw Marine numbers may be able to overwhelm them. The full medevac goes down, though. Kua tries to join that up. The Hydra's managed to capture the medevac. A great start for Dark, who's going to break those rocks. That's going to delay this push, and that's exactly what he needs, because his Vipers are gathering energy right now. If he can get the Blinding Clouds or the Abducts on the tanks, if he can come in with max out Roach Hydra, then that'd be great. And if he gets 2-2, even better. Kua is all in right now on the 8 racks. I talked to you guys about how he's been focusing on 8 racks so much recently. Hellbats, Marines, and tanks slowly creeping forwards. He's going to be taking out those creep tumors on that left side. The creep will start to recede, but it's going to take a while to get out of there. Overlord on the left does go down. Tanks are in a decent spready, but they are clumped enough that Blinding Clouds will be able to hit multiple tanks. Roach Hydra coming in. The Vipers are going to go forwards towards those tanks. The Marines getting a pretty good fight. The Blinding Cloud's not bad. Those Marines need to pull back. That's a massive concave of Roach Hydra. The Marines need to stim again. They do. They start fighting in the choke point. And Dark's got to be careful about chasing into that. The Blinding Clouds were nice to buy him a bit of a respite from the front tank fire, but there's still tanks in the back, and I think Kua might barely have the numbers. He's got to pull back here. Kua standing and fighting maybe a little bit longer than he should have. You've got to kind of dance in, dance out. Whenever the Hydras get a big arc like that, pulling back is going to be the name of the game. But look at that. Abducts coming in. 2 more tanks go down. And Kua, does he have a transition? No 4th base. No real follow-up. His 2-2 upgrades are coming in, but they're not ready just yet. +2 attacks already done for Dark. +2 carapace will be done soon. Dark picking a fight right now. Remember, he's got the 2-1 advantage. Now he's got the 2-2 advantage kicking in. And I think he's just got the numbers with the reinforce there. The Marines and the tanks trying to hold. The Vipers have come forward. That last tank goes down. and now it's just a few libs and a few marines, a trickle of marines. The Hydra's taking out those liberators as they get abducted, or at least getting them heavily damaged, and it looks like Cure is going to get pushed back. Dark with a fantastic start to the series. Wise of him to play Roach Hydra. This is a map with some really good tank positions, these bridges behind these rocks. Roach, Ravager, Hydra, Viper going to be a bit easier to break those positions than Ling Bane. If he was playing Ling Bane, he would have been forced to do a bit more counter-attacking, maybe give this base up. Second factory coming in right now. That second factory alone is not going to be enough. He's taking a second factory and a 6th gas, no 4th command center. There we go, 4th command center now begins. Kua going to try to transition. Kua is kind of funny because when he wins his Zerg versus Terran, it feels like his all-in often doesn't kill the Zerg, his like 8 racks, but then he somehow transitions into a better position later. I don't know if Dark's going to give him that opportunity. Ooh, I like the way he had the tanks and the libs further back. So it looked like Dark was surrounding him, but Kua had his artillery protected in the back lines now. Dark's going to go around this left side. Bit dangerous, but one could argue Zerg units are a little more expendable than Terran, so worthwhile going in for this angle. I think he was hoping to find a tank here. He wasn't able to. That Marine ran in from behind, tried to get the Viper, wasn't quite able. And in the middle of the map, more Roach Hydra rallying into this. Looked like a bit of an F2 there. Dark hoping to catching him unsieged. Wasn't able to. Marines are going to attack that left side. Kua says, hey, this is only a small section of your army. How dare you hang out on this side of the map, you silly boy. He's going to stand clear a little bit of that creep map control as well. Small squad of Hydras on the bottom right side. Units lost tab is in favor of Kua, but only by about 1,000. Libs and tanks trying to hold the bridge right now. The rest of the bios here, as are these Vipers. They have ducked a few tanks and libs into the front, but the Marines are gunning down the Roach Hydra. I think Kua should stutter step on that left side of the bridge. Not his best micro. A lot of those Marines were stuck behind each other on the bridge. If those guys move forward, I think he could have got 4 or 5 more Hydra kills, but I think Dark's happy with taking out the artillery and then trying to remax. The problem is he can't stop the Marines, can he? Wait, he's got more Roaches coming in though. I think those Roaches should give him just enough numbers to hold. Oh my gosh, it's so close. The Marines pick up, medevac does go down. Incredibly close game right now. He's going to have to pull back his Kua. Kua's got a 4th base. He's going to have to transfer workers over there. He's behind on the mining right now, which means Dark, who's been struggling to get his forces together, should now be able to. Both Vipers died. Only one Viper being rebuilt. 5th base is up on the right side. Has Dark transferred workers? Yes, he has. But he's only on 71 against 67. And with 3-3 now almost finished for the Terran, it feels like Kua, with this momentum, this pressure, is actually allowing himself to dictate where and when the fighting's happening. He's not letting this turn into one of those multitasking games that Dark would love. The Marine stimming in there is a wild choice right before 3-3 finishes. And yes, he kills a lot of Hydras. But I have to question, man. You gotta be careful. Single Vipers coming forward. Tanks. Nice tank positioning. Roach Hydra comes forward. They get a tank. He frenzies out of there. Roach Hydra coming in the left side as well. And wow, is he going to get all 3 tanks? Dark, the sneaky boy, gets all 3 tanks. You are kidding me. What the hell, man? My gosh. Dude, that's insane. That is insane. Roach Hydra Viper coming forward. Big parasitic bomb in the middle. Nice split there for Kua, but he can't be fighting out here, man. He's unwilling to give up his rally, but I think now he's kind of bleeding into a bad fight. He does not want to give up map control. He does continue to hold the bridge, at least for now. Another medevac up there. Somehow survives. That was the one that I guess got split away from the parasitic bomb. He's still attacking. Dude, Kua's just saying, look, the moment I stop attacking is me giving up this game. I will keep on attacking and look for that advantage. The Roach Hydra is set up in such a good arc. The Marines come back here. They try to hold ground in the choke point. My god, those bios slaughtering the medevacs. The Marine tank trying to hold. The Viper comes forward. Does it have an abduct? Yes, it does. And it looks like both tanks will go down. And I think that one was just a little bit of an overextension. Kua needed to wait just slightly longer to gather his forces. Now, the supply advantage does seem insurmountable. He scans and once again pushes forward. Oh, yeah. Okay. I think Kua decided how he was going to play this game before the game started, as he's just gifting tank kills to Dark. Dark's really happy to take those. You know, sometimes Terran win in these situations where they just pig-headedly commit to a 3-base push. As a Zerg, it's important to respect and don't start droning. What are you... Dark? I mean, okay, I guess he wants to... He's got, you know, he's got lurkers. He's fine. He's fine. I was like, the only thing is you just got to make sure you respect your opponent's pig-headedness, right? They're just going to keep attacking, and you just need to be ready for it. Now, Ghost Academy's going down. He's going to lift his main. Big attack coming with the Roach Hydra. Tank on the left, as well as some Marines trickling over here. Looks like he's still got a big Marine counterattack up north as well. That could find some really good damage. Dude, this Roach Hydra is not pushing in. There's not even enough units to defend it, but he doesn't know how deep this defensive position is. These Marines are going to run in here. They're going to get good damage. The Roach Hydra does turn around and gets a good fight on these guys. The tanks, though. Oh, wow, Dark. Dark AFKing right now. Dark away from his keyboard, not watching right now. My gosh, a lot of drones might go down as well as that base. But the medevacs do fall. Those Marines are going to get cornered. The Hydras will clean them up behind the mineral line. You can see the way the Hydras outrange them by one. Nice micro for Dark. Does clean that army up. Lost a lot of army. A hatchery. But he kills a lot of Marines. Is it enough? Mule's starting to drop on this left side. +3 range attack coming in. +3 carapace is already there. Q's 3-3 advantage will be disappearing momentarily. That tank is in range. He has to go forward with the bio or repair it if he wants to keep that tank alive. Okay, barely wins the trade. Tank in the natural does get cleaned up at the same time. Bottom right side, Lurker in there. Dark puts the Twister in. I don't think Cure has the numbers to defend this. He's been kind of... His all-in's been washing up for a while. Yeah, the tank gets taken down on that side as well. He's going to go for a little Marine drop counter. And look at that stim into the Hydras. I'm pretty sure it's going to stim into those Hydras and that'll be game. Orbital's going to get caught on this right side as well. Yep, stims in on the right side. Roach Hydra's ready for it. And that's going to be that. Dark does manage to checkmate him. 8 racks into Roach Hydra. Usually the first attack needs to get massive damage or it's not going to really work for you. First attack didn't do that great for Cure, but he did a good job of keeping up the momentum and just looking for the gaps in the Zerg production and constantly taking those good positive fights on the bridges, you know, never giving up map control. The Roaches and the Lurker trying to run in from this side. Let's see if he can run up into that natural. We've got the Ghost Marine Marauder there. But Cure is absolutely outnumbered, dead in the water. Some snipes go off, popping some Ravages. Biles land on them seconds later and they all fall. The Hydra's frenzying in from every angle. The Lib goes down, the Ghosts and the tanks go down. And Dark is going to take a Roach Hydra win in map 1. Alright guys, let's go into game 2. Dark looking good in game 1. We're back to a smaller map. Bit more rush-friendly map, and Q says low ground barracks. Now, I don't think Q is the type to go 1 barracks. Problem with going 2 barracks on this map is add-ons are on the outside, very vulnerable. And you just got to be really careful, because I don't think there's many ledges on this map. Like, Reapers can jump up and down here, and likewise there. That's the only safety. The other ledges, you can't jump up and down these. They're all blocked by minerals and bits of hedges and stuff. So Reaper aggression could do okay. It's going to slow down the Creeper Dark. It's going to slow down your own build order. It's going to change up this opening flow, but I don't know. I'd just be so worried playing Dark that he's going to just Bane bust me or something afterwards. Pig, why did the chicken go to the gym? To work on his pecs. This is so dumb. Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, 3rd barracks. 3rd barracks. Well, Cure doesn't need to work on his pecs at all because this man's already ripped. He's got those big double D man titties. We're talking about this man can do like 10,000 push-ups a day. Now, I think you need a 2nd gas for 3 barracks, don't you guys? Is that too late, that 2nd barracks? Am I crazy? He's floating a little bit of money there. This is almost like an all-in, but the thing is, in Korea, everyone goes Ling speed before 3rd hatchery lately. Unless you're expecting Dark to open 3 hatchery gasless, this is not the right map for it. Dark would definitely open 3 hatch gasless game 2, but not on ley lines. He would do it on a different map. He might do it on Ultra Love, the map we just saw. He might do it on like King's Cove or Neon Violet. He'll definitely do it, but I don't think he'll do it here. So I don't know if this was what was being expected or not. Now, the Reaper does start. There was a very slight delay on it, so indeed I do think that gas was maybe 2-3 seconds, 5 seconds at most delayed. Might matter. And you might think, what does that really matter? But guys, with these Reapers, they're going to fall off hard when Ling speed kicks in, and once there's like 3-4 queens, you have to get damage done right now. 3 Max Reaper is a big commitment. But Ling speed starting up immediately. Dark didn't pull off gas fully. Oh my gosh, he didn't pull off gas at all. What is Dark doing with that gas? Does he want to Bane Bust? Feels like he wants to Bane Bust counterattack here. As I said, Dark's the sort of player who will do that. He's at the very least keeping his options open for now. Alright, doesn't see that the gas is still mining, still 3 Reapers building at a time. Dark's only on 23 drones. Okay, he sees the drone count. He sees the drone count. Kua needs to get out of there. Kua needs to get out of here. He's got like 10 more seconds. He can dance, but then link speed's going to be done. He needs to go home. Dark, building 4 queens. He's massing Zerglings. The Baneling Nest should go down, and he should be back on gas, but he's pulled off gas. What is Dark doing? If these Reapers just go home, and Dark doesn't get the surround on them, this is not good at all. He's... What? Dark sat on 23 workers, massing queens and Zerglings, and now he's just like, oh, I'll take a hatchery and go back to droning. Dude, Dark's... Like, this is the true fluidity of Dark. I don't know if he thought that Kua saw the gas mining, because he definitely didn't. You can see here, he did not see it. But it really feels like this is the most inefficient defensive build I've ever seen in my life, but it goes hand in hand with, remember that Dark is a gambling man. Dark does not try to play safe and solid. Serral would be disgusted if he defended the way Dark just did, because he'd be like, oh, my work account's so bad. I'm in a bad spot. Even a super delayed command center is going to be fine for Terran. He could, this is awkward. Dark's just like, because I haven't shown my Zerglings, I'm going to wait. He's going to get uneasy. He's going to come across with his Reapers and we can surround them. Oh, they see the Zerglings though. Kua, get out. Kua, the Zerglings in vision, mate. Get out. Oh, gosh. Oh, here we go. But no, good grenades. He sees it. He gets a queen kill. He's going to keep attacking after seeing 30 Zerglings. Mad dog. Okay, Kua thinks he's beyond right now. I don't know if this is going to work out, man. And indeed... Oh, he slips away for a moment. Is it going to be enough, though? I don't think so. Does gift those Reapers even after spotting the ambush. Bad call for Kua there. Dude, the fact that he got a queen and had a chance to go home, but he didn't realize how many Zerglings there were. I think in his mind, he thought, oh, you got a few Zerglings, but we can still, you know, pressure you a little bit. Because he saw the creep, and I think the creep and the queen being out here made him feel like it was a more economic follow-up than it was. Oh, I don't mind this. Oh, yes, I do. I mean... You need to be willing to chase that Overlord. He lifts the barracks, but he's so afraid of getting surrounded by Zerglings. Roach Roar and Double Evo coming in, so Dark is going to be trying to head in that Roach direction. Remember, the problem with 3 barracks is the follow-up is always very predictable. It's always a 3 barracks follow-up. Can you believe it or not, guys? If you open 3 barracks, the Zerg knows from you doing 3-Rax Reaper that you're going to follow up with 3-Rax Aggression. Now, this might be a little bit mind-bending. I know some of the people watching might not have the highest IQ, but I think you guys can follow. Here's the logic. Because he knows from how many Reapers attacked his base early, it's 3-Rax Reaper, he knows you have 3 barracks left over from the early game, and you're always going to want to use those. So this has always been my criticism of 3-Rax Reaper, is essentially you know that they're delaying their 3rd command center to hit you with Marine Medevac Tank. It's almost always the exact same thing. There's very few twists or turns, and as a result, Dark, 56 drones, massing Roaches, going for 1-1 Roach speed, and this is the perfect response for Dark. It's really the correct thing. Drones should have got out of there, though. Oh my gosh, Kua going mad dog today. Stimming in like a psychopath, gets 4 drones. That's worth losing a Marine or 2. Not bad. The amount of SC2 I watch for someone who's never even downloaded the game is disgusting. You're in good camaraderie, mate. There's so many players out there. So many players, or watchers, I should say, because they're not players, and fans of StarCraft who are like that. Combat Shields is not quite done. He's waiting for it, guys. About 8 seconds away. He's unloaded extra Marines on the front. There's some Roaches there, but these Marines are going to go for it. He's going to commit. No? Okay, no, he backs away. Extra tank, and guess what, guys? A 4th and 5th barracks are here. It's going to send those Marines home, realizing there's no space for them inside. Double Drop will dance towards the main. Turns around and says, wait, that's a free Overlord. Let's get that. This Marine drop, I think he was looking for the Overlord, but it's hidden in a spot where he can't quite reach it. Kua does not care about a 3rd. He's not going to build any more SCVs this game. He is making +1 armor against Roach Ravager. So generally what Kua is doing, guys, is what we call opposite logic. He's basically... Normally you can't kill a Zerg who just sits on 3 base massing Roach Ravager. It's impossible to kill them. Because he knows that Dark knows this. Oh my gosh, Kua. What was that? Very bad control. Didn't move the medevac at all. Okay. He doesn't have enough Marines to fight this. To load up. What are we doing? Okay, Kua throwing some Marines away. A little sloppy. Doesn't want to give up map control, but never should have lost that first medevac. Should have been able to just pick up and pull away. Gotta be careful losing these. So anyway, basically, he's just doing a big all-in, and Dark is going to assume, oh, you must be taking a 3rd and stuff, so I should take a 4th. I should do this. Except Dark is actually scouting. He does pull his Zergling home with a bit of an F2, as he'd like to go attack now. Dark's thinking about being the aggressor. Not leaving any units at home. It's a very Dark way of doing it. Most players would split the army up. There we go. Now he does it. Dark's sending his Zergling. He's like, wait, do you seriously not have a 3rd at 8 minutes? Should be dawning on him. As long as he just keeps massing Roach Ravager, doesn't bother droning up. Dark should be miles ahead, and Q is doing the slowest 2-base timing of all time. Marines are going to clean up the creep in the middle, trying to open up an attack path, but Dark's been very solid about replacing those, even on his limited 4 queen count. Zergling just ran in and saw a massive army building up, and Dark's like, well, I'm not going to wait for you to come to me. I can go to you, mate. I really feel like if he just had like 6 roaches split off on a drop defense squad, it would be so easy to defend these drops, but Dark F2ing like mad, letting the queens do the work. Okay. Roach Ravager keeps running back and forwards. The way Dark's army's running back and forwards, bit odd on the army control. Definitely looks a little lazy. Feels like he's lost track of where this army is. Okay, Roach will spot it. He sees it. He sees it. He sees the army. There we go. He wants to engage this, but he's worried about the siege up. And there we go. He's going to take a big tank volley. Yeah, it could have been worse. Tanks are immediately going to unsiege. Cure is down at 40 army supply. And look at this counterattack, guys. Wow, 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 wow. Depot gets up. It's only going to buy a half a second, though. These roaches... I don't think you want to send all these roaches in, as you know that army's coming home to defend you. Tank on the high ground will hold on. Vehicle weapons is going to get sniped. Roaches, can they get a tank? He's going to get 1 siege tank with the roaches. Don't think he kills another one there. Tanks are going to pick up, pull back here to try and help defend. Marine Marauder's cleaning it up, but Dark's staying perma-max throughout, and I think taking small trades like this is perfect for Dark. It might not be the best cost-for-cost trade, but it doesn't need to be. It's buying him time to get up more tech. It's allowing him to spend his money, which otherwise he's not really able to use, and actually cost-for-cost, it's dead-even trading, which is exceptionally good for a Zerg player. Oh, if he could get some fungal or some baneling speed or something like that, it would be excellent to add to this army. Feels like Q is just stuck here, running into the problem that is Dark, and Dark seems to have figured out, if I play Roach Ravager, like Q recently has been so all-in focused, always doing timing attacks, and if I just play Roaches every game, like, I'm safe against that. I really think Q needs to be a little more flexible after this. I think he needs to play a more standard 4-base style. Oh, those roaches. Oh my gosh. They're going to unburrow. He says, juicy siege tank kills. Let's go. 2 siege tanks. Oh, that's just too good of a pick to ignore. 2 marauders as well. Wow. 2-2 against 1-1 upgrades. Plus 2 attack is about to kick in on the engineering bay. This roach is going to try to unburrow behind. Roach Ravager coming forward for Dark. He's going to try and triple bile the tank. Does land. The bile's there. Also on the medevacs. And oh, the tanks and the bio just getting hammered by corrosive biles. And that is a dominating start to this series for Dark. It feels like he knew how Cure was going to come into this series. If you guys are wondering, why is this so one-sided? My theory crafting here, and obviously I don't know without asking the players directly, I'm pretty sure he said, you know what, I've watched Cure's play lately. I saw Cure's play back in Pigfest 5. Lots of 8 racks, lots of 3-base timing attacks. And even against these 2-base timing attacks, if you play Roach Ravager, you are so much more well set up to deal with it. Whereas if they come with these sort of pushes and they put these tanks in these corners and you're dealing with like Ling Bane, it's just harder to deal with. So Roach Ravager for Dark, an excellent choice to start this series and give him big momentum. All right, guys, Q, it's time to make the comeback. And I think it's a good map for it. It's Abyssal Reef. It's a best-of-7. You've got room to come back, but you need to win this map. You cannot go down 0-3. Abyssal Reef, he's in the bottom right. Top left is Dark, and he's going to have to deal with choke points as well as a rather long rush distance. There are just amazingly abusable choke points. Like here, even once those rocks go down, tanks from down here can hit your mineral line. These ledges and these sight blockers, like tanks spread around these ledges, are just nightmares to deal with. You can put a tank here, put a tank there. I think, I'm pretty sure Dark just keeps playing Roach Ravager. And he's actually, excuse me, burping the microphone like a professional. He's going to do that 3-archery gasless build, which I think is what Kua wanted to run into with the 3-arch Reaper in the last game. I think. I'm not saying it would have definitely won the game or anything. It could have easily killed the 3rd hatchery, though, and got some big momentum. So I really feel like these bigger maps with choke points leading into them. These are the ones where Dark likes to do these builds. Let's see if he sees the hatchery. Q is going to go over to block the third and realize, okay, you're doing this build. So he knows you're not going to make Ling Speed. You're going to, almost always, you're going to go Roach Ravager off this. Occasionally, there is a Ling Speed version of this that I think Dark's done it maybe 2 or 3 times at most ever in tournaments, but most likely we're looking at about 4 minutes, you know, probably 3 minutes 20 Roach Warren gases going down. Until then, it's just drones, queens, and zerglings. Cure! Oh my lord, mate! Do not lose your Reaper! Like, he's trying to catch the Overlord. I don't think he can kill that. Marine guys, man with a gun, usually pretty impressive, especially as in power armor. In this universe, not so impressive. Can damage it. The Overlord will escape. Reaper at the front has to back off. The high ground there protects the creep tumor, so you can get the very early tumor down, which is nice. I think it's a good choice as well to go early creep tumor in this scenario. You're not going to be able to spend all your lava on 3 hatcheries, so more important to spread creep for those queens to have a bit more mobility than anything else. Twitch chat says, Q getting saucy with his Reaper. Mate, I wouldn't call that getting saucy. I'd say getting caught with his hand down his pants. Like, what the heck was that Reaper doing? I think he just looked at home to micro the Marine while A-moving the Reaper and hopped back a second too late. It was fine. He didn't lose it, so it's not bad. If you lose the Reaper, it really feels awful because it's just so much easier for the creep to spread, harder to keep control, harder to force the queen to be like blocking the ramp and all that sort of stuff. And I think he's going to try and push the ramp. And he's going to find that queen waiting for him. Oh, yeah, you see Reaper's distracting on the left side. Hellions try to go in the right, and the queen's there. Reaper's going to jump, bypass into the main, but there's a queen for that as well. Reaper will go down. And those Hellions, of course, will try to bypass into the third now. Oh, Evo block as well. Dark. Defending pretty nicely, but a little sloppy there with the stack. And looks like, because he didn't target the weak Hellion immediately, he's going to lose 4 or 5 drones. Acceptable. Oh, it's not acceptable if you let 2 more Hellions in. Oh, okay. Q is cooking now. Q is cooking. You know what he's cooking, guys? Barbecue drone. Barbecue drone recipe coming in. Oh my gosh. Oh man, you can't just grab all the queens. You can never just grab all the queens and panic react in these scenarios because you've got such a mobility disadvantage. These queens need to be in position on that ramp, my friend. You cannot not be in position on that ramp. That blocking off that side, so you only have to defend the third hatchery, is like, the queen here should not be on a control group, but Dark almost always has all of his queens on one control group. And whenever things get a bit saucy, a bit messy, a bit steamy, he'll almost always select that control group and A-move it to the front. And that's what happened. Cannot be pulling this queen away from that choke. Banshee runs in. Nice timing. Spore Crawler ain't ready yet. Caught being a little bit greedy. Obviously, maybe not. I mean, the thing is, I think he just didn't expect Q to go double gas before third command centers. That's rather unusual these days. Banshee will dish out some hurt on those queens. And another 4 Hellion run by going to come in. No Evo Chamber block this time. These Hellions are roasting and toasting. And they're finding some good volleys. 11 workers go down. 13. Oh my gosh, 15 workers, dude. Okay, the damage is getting out of control. Those queens taking damage. They have to transfuse just to survive the Banshee. And these drones should probably be fighting. At this point, these Hellions are so close to going down. They're just not dying. The queens with their mobility issues really struggling. And 3 Hellions on Reddit points are still getting into the main. You are kidding me. Are they going to kill even more? The Banshee did run out of energy. Drones do kill the Hellions in the main. Queens take out the Banshee. Another Banshee arrives. And it also can just hold position over here and be an absolute nuisance. Dude, so much damage for Kurin. When you play these super greedy no link speed openings, you can't, afford these mistakes. You are taking a big risk. You have to be perfect on your defense. And Dark was absolutely not perfect. He's going to take a 4th and a 5th hatchery to try and recover. The man's still up 5 drones in the midst of this. You can just see the power of his build. He's lost 40 drones! 40! Oh my gosh! I didn't realize it was 2 separate tallies, wasn't it, of drones. It was 40 drone early game and he's still up in workers. It's so funny because I can imagine this is the sort of game that gets the balance whiners on both sides going. Like, the Zergs be like, oh wow, look, I've got Hellions everywhere, Banshees everywhere. It's so fair. Terran just gets to attack, and roast all of our drones. I hate this matchup. And then Terran's like, he killed 40 drones and he's still behind. Come on! What the hell, dude? Like, you have no business complaining, you idiot. Medevac Marine tank coming forward. We've got 1-1. Combat shields aren't going to quite be ready in time. But just getting this push going, knowing there's no answer to this. I mean, there's no link speed. The first roaches are just now building off 71 workers. The greed knows no bounds. He is building overlords, which is actually really rare for Dark. Dark normally gets supply blocked as he sees pushes like this, but I do think the tank on the low ground and sieging this base is just going to be really hard for a Dark. Who, I mean, he just gives this base up, of course, runs his drones to the other side. He doesn't really have enough to defend even the Marines. Banshee does take a shot from the Giga Chad Spore. More Marines coming in. They're going to drop on the high ground. The Banshee runs into the Spore and does die. Slightly sloppy there. Dark's buying himself time, guys. If Dark wins this game, he is a wizard. He's getting an invitation to Hogwarts. Hagrid's going to hop over to his house and put him in this little side motorbike thingy, take him to school, because he's got to learn how to do some proper wizardry. This is ridiculous if he brings this back. I mean, he's still behind, but he's on 5 bases. He's got 1-1 and roach speed, not that far behind. Where's the 2-2? Armory's finished. Q needs to remember to start that 2-2. Oh, Giga Chad Spore. Ooh, this Giga Chad Spore's moving as well. Good job getting these medevacs out. All right, Q has got to start that 2-2. He's got the gas. He doesn't have the minerals right now. More importantly, he's just forgotten about it. He's got another double drop in the middle, and I feel like if you're doing these drops while macroing perfectly, it's great. That's what you know Clem's kind of known for doing, but Q for getting key upgrade. Let's see if he can find the damage to make it worth it. 2 creep tumors and a Ravager. Picks up, drops the high ground. Giga Chad Spores are going to really punish these sorts of moves, though. The Marines on the left side trying to come in. He's trying to play fast and loose. Q feels the pressure. It's because he knows Dark's done such a greedy opening. He knows he can't just sit here. Like, he really needs to get something done right here, right now. He's making a tech lab on the second factory. He's got the 5 barracks, factory, starport, about to have a second factory. No 4th command center. There we go. It starts up. Oh my gosh, he's just forgotten. That massive upgrade lead just disappearing. How tragic. I think this is really going to give Dark the respite he needs, the room to breathe he needs. And we might just see who's better in late game, Q or Dark, because I think this one's going to go there. 5 should be starting now. I think we might see a 3rd Evo chamber for Dark. Dark's just making Ravager Ling right now. Whoa! Big push, big push. Wow! Okay, Q pushing pretty hard here. Crazy choice. The rocks go down on this side. I think Dark wants to come in. Ravagers on the high ground could bile these tanks really nicely. Oh, the tanks are on siege, though. Does bile the tank that is sieged up. Does take it down. Ravagers from the high ground trying to take down these tanks. Can they get them, though? Doesn't quite take out the siege tanks. Only gets one of them. And the Lings have been cleaned up. The Roach Ravager's struggling. He needs to spread his army out, but look at the positioning. Ideally, he'd be coming from the north as well, but he can't get up there anymore. The Marine count looking fearsome on the front lines, and the Ravager Bile's trying to buy him time. He's going to give up this base, pull back his drones, and rotate. He says, come a bit further forward, and then we can maybe flank you and deal with this, but Queen and Roach getting caught off creep in the south side. They do get gunned down. Dark's trying to scramble something together. 1-1 against 1-1 upgrades. Q has still got the advantage off of that 40 drone damage in the early game. Roach Ravager trying to come forward. Here we go. Biles could be nice across this to slow down the advance. The Marine rally is kind of trickling into this. Coming in from both sides. The Ravagers. Wow, Q. Oh, his Marine count's too good, though. Even though his tanks get blasted, I think the Marines can punch through. Every tank goes down. Great angle with those Ravagers from the north. A lot of medevac healing. So many Marines. Dark's trying to deal with it. If he had like an infestor or something, it would be such a game changer right now, but he never made the hive. He does have the infestation. If he squeezed an infestor out, wow, it could be game changing, but up against the fence right now is Dark. Bile's landing on the medevac, surprisingly, and he's reclaimed a little bit of map control. If he could respread a little bit of creep over here, a bit of creep over here, then he could use this time to reassert map dominance. All right, guys, we definitely didn't just pause there because the soundtrack decided to go and autoplay other music that I don't know if it's copyright safe or not. No, we would never have done that. There's no pause at all. We're going to continue. All right, guys, continuing the cast here after a very slight production interruption, but we are good. Marine tank gathering. Dark, is he going for it? Oh my gosh, he's going to YOLO. He's kind of attacking around a corner a little bit on that south, but he does catch the tanks, mostly on siege. Dude. Oh my lord, Dark biling the medevacs. Q is medevacs. have been consistently getting biled, and Dark reclaims map control. He's going to try and chase for the victory. SCVs are pulled. Oh, I don't think he has the numbers to push that ramp. Yeah, that push, if he pushed up there, would have been really bad, but that's really important. Oh, double libs come in. Double liberators come in. Remember, he has very few queens, guys. 2 queens only. So this damage is actually quite significant. It may be a 5 hatchery. Oh my god, he got 2 Vikings as well. You're kidding me. So anyway, he may have killed 2, you know, he may have cleared the map, but he's got no creep spread. He doesn't have queens injecting right now. Dark has 5 hatchery, 72 drone, but he doesn't have the setup he needs, and infestors are being built. I think that's exactly what he needs right now. You know, there's a 4th up for Cure. It's an orbital. He's going for 3/3 upgrade, so he's climbing out in upgrades. Oh, lib finding even more damage. And I mean, what are we going to do? Just wait for queens to get down here? Feels like such a nightmare. So 1 lib's going back on Reddit points. This one's going to come back for another siege. He thinks better of it and realizes it's probably not going to do too much. So he's just going to siege it there for now, bring it in a bit later when those Ravagers are ready, or not ready, when they're occupied dealing with the middle push. A lot of Marauders in the mix. Bile's coming down. Wow. Wow, Kua just shoving. Kua has confidence right now with his 2-2 finished. He realizes Dark's army's a little bit small after that lib aggression. Pops a few of these Ravagers. Like overripe pimples just ready to burst. The Roach Ravager there, melee almost done. Hive halfway finished. Oh. Once these infestors arrive, it'll be good, but he scans it. Kua knows about the infestors. They're nowhere near as effective once your opponent knows about them, and does take out 1 liberator. Nicely done. I like the way Dark's controlling space. He's also got 2 creep tumors here. Never got a creep tumor on that side. Like I said, he really just doesn't have the material on the board right now in order to do what he should be doing in an ideal scenario. Bile's landing on these Marauders. Quite a few go down. Tank only does 40 damage a shot to these Ravagers. So not as effective as it is in some other scenarios. Ling run bys would be a massive, right? Right now, Kua is able to just dictate where and when the fighting's happening. If some Lings go around the map, they'd be huge. But Dark doesn't really know what the situation is on the other side. He's been stuck defending for the past 8 minutes after losing 40 drones in the early game. Liberator goes down. Bio pushing forward. The tank advance coming towards its inexorable finish. The Roach Ravager is going to need a good flank on this army. He cannot engage this position through this area. If he goes into that area, it is a death trap. Lings do go around. Kua's kind of forced Dark's hand a little bit. Those Lings are going to get in, but not the cleanest. They don't quite get in immediately. I don't think he's seen the 4th. Big fungal lands. Ravager flank coming in from that right side. The tanks are very exposed. The Ravagers, will they land the Biles on these siege tanks? Some Biles are landing across that front line. Quite a few tanks do go down. Medevac's going down as well. Oh me, oh my, it's a very close fight. 1 siege tank stands, a few Marines and Marauders. 17 Roaches trying to be built. The supply looks good for Kua. The Lings did get cleaned up on that 3rd. If a few went into the 4th, can you imagine the damage they would have done? If a few went into the 4th, but Dark's been under so much pressure. He just didn't quite have the bandwidth to realize what was going on there. There's still 1 tank in the back. Dark runs forward. He's going to try to bile it. He doesn't want to get pushed back any further, and that is fair enough. The 3/3 bio up against the 2/2 Roach Ravager. With the Medevac healing in the similar numbers, this is going to be really good trades for Kua. You can see the biles aren't landing anymore. In these small scale fights, really easy for Kua to avoid those. And Dark, he's got to hold on, but he just doesn't quite have the numbers. Dark here almost making one of those miraculous comebacks that he's famous for. Yet despite 40 drone damage making it disgustingly close, that is so funny, man. I mean, obviously, he didn't build any fighting units and was defending with like 4 queens and nothing but drones. You are meant to be able to absorb a good punch of damage in those scenarios. I would dare say you need to take a bit less than 40 workers to have a puncher's chance. If we go to 6 minutes, so at this point, units lost tab. Yeah. If you're losing all workers and at 2-to-1 efficiency, that's pretty nasty, man. GG, well played. Q is back in the series. All right. He's got a point on the board. Kura now in the top left of Neon Violet. It seems like here in the SOOP Global number 16 show match, they're playing the ladder map pool, which is crazy. Because no one's playing the ladder map pool, except, I guess, a couple of these random show matches and things. Dark in the bottom side of the map is going to be, I would imagine, doing the exact same thing as last game. I mean, take a hatchery, take a 3rd hatchery in the back, even though it's only a half mineral base. This is the perfect map for it. Knowing Dark, he's so greedy, he probably takes the front hatchery and just tries to defend with Queens and Zerglings. I do imagine Kua, I don't think he'd be happy to play this map, to be honest. So the reason why is it's a giant map. It's hard to kill. Zerg, like, this is the sort of map where you'll see a Terran just play Battle Mech, right? Play, like, Battle Cruiser opening or just Cyclone Hellion opening or something like that. It's if you're really good at late game, this map can be really good. But the problem you get into is you get your first 5 bases really compact, right? You get 3 bases in the back, you take your 4th and 5th out here. And then suddenly there's these big open areas leading out. Like, this one's not too exposed, but this gold base is out across through a field. You do have the cover of the Skibbity Forest, but the gold base and this base and these corners, like, there's big distances to cover. So the standard way of, say, playing Bio, trying to kill a Zerg, very difficult on this map. If you try to play Bio late game, I do imagine Ultraling Bane Corruptor kind of dominates. And, of course, we'll see how it goes. It's going to be Roach Ravager yet again, guys. Dark does go for the front hatchery, as I predicted, because he's Dark and he's a greedy boy. And Q are going for a Reaper Expand here. Part of me wonders, is it worth even going for the Reaper? It feels so bad to not play Reaper against Zerg, but part of me wonders if just going for a quicker factory, right? Go Marine, go factory, get your 2 Hellions out earlier and just start diving Hellions in might be more effective. I think it just feels like Zerg gets too much creep out and too much control in the early game if your Reaper's not there. Chat says, whether you play Bio or not, you're going to need 3 factories on this map. Well, if they're playing Ling Bane, I think you would want to have a mix of Widow Mines and tanks, right? Yeah, I wouldn't mind a 3 factory Battle Mech opening. Dark's pretty bad against those historically. And for some reason, Dark's super supply blocked. Had to do an extractor trick there. Not sure why. So late to this Overlord. It's just Dark being Dark, right? Dark Overlord. It's a game that his father taught him when he was very young, but for those who don't know, Dark hates his father. So he's basically been skipping the Overlords ever since then, just to spite his dad. He's like, who's the daddy now? I'm the daddy Zerg. I have a baby now. And unlike you, I'm not going to make him build Overlords. It'll be his choice. I'll give him the freedom. Not like you, Dad, trying to oppress me, trying to make me live life in your image of not getting supply blocked all the time. Dark Sun's gonna get deep into like all sorts of crazy builds. You can imagine, because it's always like one generation rebels, right, from the next. And then they're like, we're gonna give you everything that we didn't have. But then their kids end up all on drugs and spoil. And the StarCraft Zerg vs Terran equivalent of being on drugs is basically like trying to rush Neuroparasite every game and just do like super meme builds that don't really work. So we'll see how it works out. I hope my predictions are wrong. Sporecrawler did save the worker. 3rd command center on location in the back. Starport's gonna go over. Looks like... Wait, what is this? What are we doing? What are we doing right now? It's Banshee with no Hellion opening. 4th command center! Okay, guys. He got a game against Dark by being really aggressive and punishing him. So now he's being really greedy. Dark is already taking a 4th, thinking, oh, 4-minute 4th. I'm a Zerg player. Look at how greedy I am. Ha 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 ha. Little does Dark realize Q has started his 4th command center on location even earlier. What we're looking at is an economic arms race, ladies and gentlemen. We're watching Wall Street showdown here. We're seeing who can win with even more greed. Now, obviously, Zerg production is insane. And having no checks on him other than the Banshee is going to make it tough. It is more barracks. So Kua, I think, is going to do like, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he does like a 2 factory, 8 barracks, 4 base, just like constant parade through the middle. I would not be surprised if he's looking at like siege tanks around here and Branch pushes forward from there. Probably onto this high ground. I think he probably pushes this angle. Because if you get, you know, towards this angle, it's going to be really hard for them to defend. You can put tanks there as well. Really cool kind of decision for him to mix that in. Now the Banshee's going to fly in the main. And there was a hole in the vision there. Wow! Wow, the Banshee hides to the last second. You're kidding me. Cloak's still 12 seconds away. Can it survive 12 seconds from the Queen? I think it maybe can't, not with the second Queen arriving, so it's going to have to pull that out. But 4 drones, not a bad start. Reaper's still on the top right. 55 workers for Zerg, 49 for Terran. Remember that it always looks like Zerg's so far ahead on drones, then you realize they've got to build gases, evos, spores. Every building you build as a Zerg is a dead drone. So it does slow you down. Like you'll see Zerg at 60 against 40 workers, and then 2 minutes later, Zerg worker count's only gone up by 5, while the Terran worker count's gone up by 15, so definitely something to keep in mind. Tank production has started as the 4th and 5th barracks goes down. Does need to start those 1-1 upgrades. Really important to not let those get too far behind. As Zerg 1-1, about 15 seconds ahead. Oh, I would have probably thought about trying to fly by there, but Kua plays it conservatively. Doesn't want to give these Banshees away as they are his air dominance right now. I was going to say, this wouldn't be a bad time to play Mutalisks for Dark, but he's going to go Infestation Pit. Drones running away, realizing they don't have detection down there. So he's going to go for that Ultra Tech, I would imagine. 5 Extractors. 66 workers for Kua. Kua was a supply block, so he did a supply drop just then. And even though he did a supply drop, I think he did a supply drop. Maybe not, actually. My depot must have just barely finished. Dude, he's just instantly getting supply blocked every time he he builds a depot. He's just crazy, like, how much supply you need off this start. It's 6.5 minutes. Dark looking to take his 6th base. Oh, yeah, I was saying 4th. This was actually Dark's 5th earlier, guys, wasn't it? Because he'd already taken this one. And this one. Or did he take this one? Or maybe he took this one after. Either way, Dark's looking for a 6th base on the gold. 6 base. It's 5 base against 4 bases right now. In Zerg favor, which is pretty standard. The 5th base was the one in the back pig. Okay, good. I was right. Thank you, chat. 2nd factory. I always need to know I'm right, guys. You got to remember I have the fragile ego of a content creator. 77 workers coming in. 80 drones for Zerg. Hive halfway done. 2nd factory. Wait, he's gone double armory, guys. I think that's a mistake. There's no way he's intending to go double armory this game. Oh, it's a little bit awkward. Why has he got one down here as well? I mean, obviously it can help later to have, like, double upgrades on your Thors and tanks, but I don't think we're there yet. 3 depots are building right now. 2 are once again supply blocked. Two starts for him just seconds after Dark's, and guess what, guys? Dark has the hive done. He's forgotten about it. What's the attack? There we go. Ultra Cavern. It is Ultra Cavern. Adrenal glands. No infestors. I imagine we'll see a Viper or 2 come out in the near future. Blinding Cloud going to be exceptional. There we go. 1 Viper on the way. Didn't quite have enough gas for a second one. It would be a good idea to add a second. Big game like this, the earlier you get that energy up, the more gains it'll give you. Units lost tab. Very low for Terran. Has only lost a single Marine. 4 drones and 6 Zerglings. Low trading in general. The Skibbity Forests are going to be nasty areas for Lingbane to engage against those Marines, as the Marines will naturally spread out a little bit in amongst them, and the Lingbane just get stuck behind each other. It's 8.5 minutes. And already the tank push starts, using the Skibbity Forest for a bit of coverage on the left. Marines coming over on the right side. He's going to have to pick those up if he wants to keep them alive, but tank coverage enough to scare back Dark. I'm surprised Dark hasn't gone around to smash these depots. Seems like the obvious choice, and I think it's a bit of an oversight for Kua to not have put a depot down here. He's got the Banshees covering the right side, but I think the left is the more dangerous angle. Because the right side is next to your rally point, but I think this left side, if he breaks in there, he could split into 3 or 4 worker lines and really ruin your day. As Dark realizes, like, if you get a good position like this, it will always prompt Dark to go for that counterattack. I'm going to go set it up now. Waiting for his upgrades, waiting for the right time is Dark. Remember, he's got 2 Vipers out now. One of them's maxed on energy. Other one's at 144. I don't think he cares about losing this hatchery. Look at this tank spread, guys. Wow! Kind of in a big open area, though, with no Widow Mines. Oh, and he's just going to flank this army. I don't know, man. I feel like you need Widow Mines in here as well. The Marines aren't super well split. I think Q is expecting Dark to headbutt into him, and he's just not taking the bait. Dark setting up the big flank, and he's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. Oh, nice tank coverage on the back. But there we go. Here we go. Upgrades all finishing. 2-2 finishing for Dark. And Q's upgrades just 10 seconds behind. Not quite ready in time. Beautiful timing on the upgrades for Dark. Is it enough to overwhelm, though? Q had a pretty nice push setup. He's got the Banshees there as well. And even though it looks like he's going to lose most of his tanks, he's still got 1 tank left in the back. And he does hold position. And I think holding position is huge because Terran usually has a lot more units coming on their rally. Whereas Zerg, that's their entire army. Their army's quick. The moment it pops out, it jumps on you. And that was a really good hold for Kua. I think Dark picked his upgrade timing very well, but it just wasn't enough to necessarily shut the push down as hard as he would have liked. Those Zerglings will take out the siege tank. How much mobile anti-air? 6 queens, 2 vipers, all that he's got. But I'm amazed that Dark isn't counter-attacking on such a big map. On such a big map. Like I said, even just threatening the counter there, threatening 40, 50 lings running in from this side, seems like it should be the default mode. Banshee's having a party out in the middle of this map right now. Anabolic Synthesis has started up for those Ultras, the movement speed. Dark has enough money to remax. Ultra's going to come in with a big flank. Ultraling Bane trying to surround. This army looks really small for Cure. Oh no. Cure out here with dregs. He just has so few units. I think he should have pulled back after the previous push, you know? Regroup for the next one. Dark's production on 7-8 hatchery is a bit too strong. Cure just constantly staying on the front lines, not willing to play that more flexible game. And it seems like Dark on the quicker remax is able to take advantage of him. Just classic strength of Zerg there in terms of the quicker remax potential. And the Ling Bane Ultra is going to crash over. 9 SCVs go down. 5th base on the gold. Does have to lift. And he's still building pure Marines. No Marauders. So these Ultras just aren't dying. The 2-2 Marines shooting the Ultralisk, guys, it's a little bit like trying to punch your dad when you're 3 years old. You may be feeling like you're putting, you know, the force of the heavens into it. But it doesn't do anything. He doesn't even feel it. He's just laughing at you. And then if you do manage to find a crotch or some sort of weak point where you punch him, that's when he just actually will punt you over the fence. And that's kind of what those Ultras did to those Marines. They eventually got taken down, but only after many, many small children, aka Marines, got punted. It was pretty brutal, dude. What happened when the Marines popped? There was an Ultra under the medevacs there. It landed at splash damage. It landed like 1 or 2 swipes on a central Marine, and the splash damage just hit all the other damaged Marines around it. So like 8 or 9 Marines died in a single Ultra attack. Spires on the way now as well. It's always hard on these big maps. For Q is used to the smaller maps and used to not being in such a big remax potential situation so early. He thought, let's stay on the front. It was the wrong call. He needed to pivot into tech labs on his extra barracks. And yeah. Wait, he's only on 5 barracks still. Oh, he doesn't even have 8 barracks. Oh, geez. So he can't even build workers very well. Okay, Banebust comes in. Lots of Zerglings. Marines are good against the Lings. Decent against the Banes if they're well micro. Tank Lib on the right will crush these Ultras eventually. The Ultras have to back off after taking out a siege tank. This is a lot of damage though. Dark's got map control, and now that he's got air attacks, if he adds Corruptors in the mix, the Lib medevac will get destroyed. Remember we said earlier, if your opponent plays bio, Ultraling Bane's going to kind of dominate late game. Oh! Nice parasitic bombs as well. Horrid Zerglings in the back. Corruptors will counter these Libs very effectively. A few Vikings coming out. I guess just to help clear those Vipers, give them a bit less control. Nidus Worms on the way for Dark as well. He had 8 barracks, but they were outside the base. Oh, he did. They were down here, weren't they? They all died. They actually died on the push. I'm like, how does he only have 5 barracks? So he actually lost a core amount of his production. Good catch, chat. Sorry. I was like, I could have sworn I saw 8 barracks. Then I was looking around the base, and I'm like, where are they? I forgot he built them out front. Oh, that's real bad. Cure on 53 workers. Dark on 88. Dark can do pretty much whatever he wants now. He's gonna YOLO. It seems like a bit of a wild attack with no Banelings. It's an awful attack angle for Dark. But there's the Banes. I think he thought the Banelings were with his army, but they were a bit further behind. Nidus in the back, though. It's a good distraction. It's a great distraction. Oh, that's nasty. Nidus one pops up. Ling's in the back door. Cure, he doesn't have the material to deal with this now. The game, once it gets messy... Oh, what? He rolled in and just killed the orbital. He didn't even lift it in time because he was distracted. Dark's playing with his food now. Dark is playing with his food. Wow. Wow. He realized, like, he's just like, oh, you're so distracted by the Nidus, I can just do that. Look at that. Even that Ultra gets some pretty big damage. He needs Marauders in here to help deal with these Ultralisks. Pretty obnoxious running in and clicking on an orbital because as the Terran, that's the sort of thing that makes you very mad. Because you're like, well, you know that's a silly gamble running into tank lib range with your army. If I react quickly and lift the orbital, screw you. How dare you make such a silly gamble? Because the reason it makes Terran players angry is because you know your opponent's gambling on you being bad. Like you making a mistake, basically. You're like, oh my god, you think I'm that bad? And it's like, well, you were. You did make the mistake, right? And you're like, how dare you think I'm that bad? Like there's this... there's a little bit of a mental trap you get in. Where you're like... I can't believe you expected me to make that mistake. How dare you? You're like, but you did make that mistake. Massive engagement, blinding cloud all over the tanks. The Corruptors clearing these libs. Ultra's doing really well on the ground as well. You can see the way the Corruptors just cleanse those libs really nicely. Even though it looks like the Ultras will get cleaned up, he's on 88 workers, he's remaxing. And killing all these Liberators is going to make the next wave so much easier. Lifted his main down here. Gold base. Cure, of course. Dead man walking right now. Looking for a chance for victory, but it does not exist. He's going to venture onto creep, which is his way of saying, okay, finish me. He realizes, well, that is kind of throwing the game. Let's run away. No sensor towers is crazy, chat was saying, I guess before this guy went up. Well, I mean, he was doing a super all-in push. I don't think it was crazy. He's on 5 barracks. Like, there's a list of priorities, guys, and at no point was a sensor tower ever a priority in this game with the way it went. I think people kind of just like, they're like, well, you should build sensor towers. It's like, if you're going 7 orbitals and massing late game, sure. Kua never wanted to be this late in the game. He was trying to win with a big 4-base all-in. Did not pan out, and now he's getting overrun. Those Marines on the top right of our screen getting ripped apart by the Ultralisks. My lord, those Marines went down fast. The Ultra's overwhelming. Corruptor's getting more medevacs. You can see it's like the Ultras are dying. This is partially just because Dark has so many workers. So his army supply is not like as massive as it could be. But I am still surprised he's not just hitting the left as well. Like, he keeps headbutting the front angle. It feels a little bit like I'm watching Sue, where Sue would always just be like, where's the opponent strongest here? Let's attack here repeatedly. And it's like, just, why don't we just send 30 Lings and Banes to smash this left side, then hit the right again? It seems, I mean, I get it. He's winning attacking front on, so he doesn't need to change it, but there is a much lower path of resistance. And I think StarCraft players, like especially the fan base, gets very, they're like, well, if this is working, if this is good enough, it's good enough. And I just, you know, what would Cyril say, guys? It's what I always ask myself. If there's a path of less resistance, we should always be taking it. Ultraling Bane trying to roll forward. Pretty decent little defensive angle on that ramp. But the Marine tank will get overrun. And that's going to be that. GG. Dark takes a 3-1 lead. Oh my gosh. Onto another big map. Cure. Do you not request map pools, guys? I'm not sure who. Does anyone know who hosts the SOOP global show matches? I'm not sure who exactly hosts these, but I would say number 1, why is this being played on the ladder map pool? Number 2, Cure, what are you doing letting your maps be played on Neon Violet and King's Cove? You're a Terran whose entire TVZ is based on timing attacks, and you're letting this show match be played on a ladder map pool that no other tournament is running on right now. What's going on, mate? So the reason this is so bad for Cure, guys, is like we've seen that Cure wants to just win with timing attacks. He doesn't want the game to drag on. He wants to be like doing a frontal push. And this is one of the biggest maps in the map pool where I would say like similar to Neon, I'm like, I feel like mech might be like battle mech might be the better way to play here. I mean, I get it. A lot of the time players don't think their voice really matters. I feel like for a show match, you could just be like, hey, I think, who knows, there's a lot of people in StarCraft who take themselves way too seriously, I would say, who are like, no, it needs to be professional. We have to use the professional map pool circuit. And you're just like, who cares? Like, first of all, this isn't the professional map pool circuit. It's the ladder map pool circuit, and it's just a bunch of maps from 2017, Abyssal, King's Cove, and Neon Violet. I don't mind Abyssal being in the competitive pool, but I think all 3, it's just like a bit too gigantic, Neon Violet and King's Cove, and I wouldn't mind one of them being in the pool, but I guess like all 3 of them, it just leads to a few too many of these like crazy turtle macro games, which I don't think they're too bad, because like you can still mix them all ins and stuff. But when you've got one player who's Terran and the other's Zerg, and then he's not like, if he's Clem on this map, I think he does fine, because Clem's got such good mid to late game. He's still going to struggle a bit in the mid game against Dark on such a big map. I'd say, you know, quite hard even. But for Cure, this is going to be tough. I want to see what he does here. Does he have a good build for this? I mean, you're playing these maps on the ladder, so you must have plans that you normally put into. Yeah. I'm just thinking about the options. Maybe... Yeah, I don't think you want to go to Ghosts no matter what. I think the moment you play Ghosts against Dark, you're kind of locking in the loss on a map this big. it's way too slow, and unless you have really, really top tier micro, macro, late game multitasking, you'll be in trouble. But he gets himself a drone here against the 3 hatchery opening, and Dark is just abusing this greedy build, which these maps are really gifting him an easy road to the 3 hatch gasless. Third command center on location. I like that, guys. I do like that move. Do you think he takes the 4th on location? Does the same build from Neon? He might. Looks like he wants to go starport here. Yeah. 4 times starport. Queen coming out towards the 3rd base. Reaper dancing. Just gonna grenade that queen. Keep her away for a second. He's hoping to kill this drone when it pops. He doesn't realize it's an overlord. When that overlord pops out, he'll just leave. He'll go, ah, it was an overlord. Okay. Queen's here. Time to back away. And the first 2 Hellions should be getting behind this. Yep. Tech lab. All right. It's just a Banshee. So pretty chill. Pretty standard opening so far. Should be seeing gases and Roach Warren any moment now. Often he'll just start with a single gas and a Roach Warren. 330 to 345. On this map, though, easy to wall off the side, which means he's confident being even greedier. Dude, not a single gas yet? My gosh. The greed knows no bounds. He's going 6 queens, trying to drone his 3rd base. He did build a lot of overlords this game. Dark's macro looking a little scuffed, maybe? I mean, he's going to make up for it by being so greedy. It's just the order wasn't super optimized. Oh, it's a Viking this game. Okay, he goes for the early Viking. Cloak does still start, and he decides, no. Banshee's more important. Banshee and Cloak. Roach Warren Evo Chamber going to guard the right side. Dark's going to move down to the front. 4 queens up front. A bunch more queens building. And finally, his gas is starting at about 4 minutes 10. Wow. Wow. Economic arms race, ladies and gentlemen. Will the Zerg creep economy, or will the Terran orbital mule command standard end up coming out on top? A lot of people say the gold standard, the mule, you know, it's the global currency of the world for a good reason, but don't be sleeping on these commie Zergs, guys. They come in there, they say, you know, they might have hyperinflation. 1 creep tumor might be worth 10 million creep tumors the next day, but doesn't matter. When you've got control over the means of production, got that ability to say what things are and mean, it's fine. You know, these guys over here are a bit too worried about their freedom. It is indeed 3 barracks, 4th and 5th barracks, no 4th command center yet, so this looks just like a pretty standard 3cc, except the 3rd command center is on location. Carapace does start up for Dark, 2nd Evo chamber. Comes up behind it. Its 4th hatchery started a bit after 5 minutes. It's looking a little more standard than Neon Violet. Neon Violet seems to bring out the crazy in people. King's Cove is still very greedy, but it plays a little bit more like a normal map, I suppose, at least up to this point. Oh my god, I'm finally catching my cute little 6-foot piggy live. Oh, the beauty of Easter. Thank you, Jesus. Well, yeah, happy Easter. To you too, Ivan, and everyone else in the chat. Hope you're having a lovely Easter. Casting this live on Easter Sunday here in Australia. Saturday in America as I cast. And am I actually 6 foot? How tall is Pig? I assume he's 6 foot. No, that's the girth. Length, I haven't measured the length in a while, but yeah, girth 6 foot. So you're correct at least on 1 measurement. So yeah. Overseer's going to morph. Banshee's going into the main base there. Going to try and rotate around. Oh, there's no Spore there, but with the Overseer coming in... Okay, good drone pull. Good drone pull. Just going to back away. Alright, good defense by Dark. He's swapping into melee Carapace. So even though he's opening with the Roaches, he's actually not committing to them. I like this choice on a big map like this. I don't think you're really worried about Kua being able to kill you. 4th command center goes down. 1-1 is so late for Kua, guys. This has been Kua's big mistake in this whole series. So I think what I would identify from like a sort of coaching perspective is this reminds me of Clem back in 2023, where he would always forget his upgrades and he'd be like panicking and so focused on attacking his opponent. I think basically Kua has a little bit of a mental block. When he sees this 3 hatchery gasless play from Dark, I think he feels so much mental pressure to get damage and to do his build perfectly that he's actually making mistakes. I know that seems like a thing. It's like, wait, he feels pressure to play more perfectly and therefore he's making mistakes. This is a very common thing that happens. If you feel like, oh god, my opponent's just ahead by default from his opening, I need to do something, I need to play perfectly, oh god. It's very easy to tense up and move away from like basic things you normally remember, like starting 1-1 on time, just doesn't happen. And that's going to give a big upgrade advantage on +2 carapace. I mean, upgrades are normally a little delayed with a Banshee build, so I'm not saying that, you know, it's, oh my gosh, it's the latest upgrades of all time, but just a little bit of a delay there. And remember, we had some big delays earlier in the series, so I'm seeing a little bit of a pattern there. Might be over-exaggerating it. 5 on the way, 12 more drones, Link speed as well, Burrow coming in. 5th hatchery on the front, 82 workers. Dark's just waiting for his moment. Wait, 11 more workers! Guys, for those who don't know, Dark is famous for being a low drone Zerg. He normally doesn't go past 75 workers, 80 at the absolute most, because he'd rather have more army. In this case, he said, this is King's Cove. This map's going to go for a while. I just want to get a massive bank. And you know what? I can almost guarantee you, if Kua kills a bunch of his drones, he won't replace them. Because he'll actually be happy to replace it with more army. He just wants to build a big bank so that as Kua moves out to this base, he can just smash banelings into it, not care too much about efficiency, and really look to Zerg his opponent with an overwhelming amount of money and numbers. Now, keep in mind, that's pretty damn necessary. Oh, he almost manages to pile the Viking. Viking does get the Overseer, gets out though. Drilling Claws is on the way. I love that. I love that for you. Drilling Claws, always a really good addition. I think if you mix in mines and siege tanks together, it can be really, really nice. We've got 2-2 Baneling speed on the way as well. Marine Hellbat on the left side trying to come in. Hatchery does go down. Marine's in the middle as well. Creep Tumors, Ultra Caverns on the way. Oh, Ling Bane Ravager trying to defend. Oh gosh, pick up. Kua does get those units out. He's doing little bits of damage. None of this is super impactful, so as long as he doesn't lose his units, it's fine. Oh my god, that's slow on the pickup. He loaded a Hellbat in there. The Marines were the important unit to save, not the Hellbats, but throwing away a few units is Kua. He's got an extra command center. He's on 91 SCVs. He's building even more. Oh gosh. Kua's worker count is too high. Now, if he's going to play this, he's going to play this, guys. You need to build mass command center, planetaries, orbitals everywhere. Oh god, he's got a pansy wall here. He needs a much thicker wall on that left side. He doesn't have it right now. His army in general seems kind of small. A lot of his drops are on the map and whatnot, but Dark's like, I've been spotted coming. This is not going to work. I think you really want to build a planetary here or reinforce this with engineering bays and stuff. You want to try and have like a siege tank here or here, something covering the ramp from this side while also covering the center. He's trying to build more command centers in the middle as well. Kua right now is trying to play super late game. This wall here also very flaccid right now. I really think you have to reinforce those walls. He's trying to attack. He's going to engage in a multitasking war with Dark. Kua is actually punch drunk right now, guys. Man wants to punch on. He just wants to fight. He's had 17 beers in the pub and he just wants someone to fight with him, okay? It's not a wise decision. He's not the biggest stature guy. Dark is large, muscular, and clearly on steroids. The man has cauliflower ear, and yet Kua says, let's throw down, son. Pushes across the map. Dark immediately counter-strikes, gets inside that third base. But Kua does good damage on that hatchery. Does clear a work line, clears this hatchery as well. It's going to force a crazy multitasking war. Planetary does really well there, but his fourth base gets cleansed of SCVs on the front. Biomine microing pretty well. I'm amazed that Q is trying to out-multitask Dark right now. It's reminiscent of his grand finals at G8 against Raynor, where we thought he was going to do a lot of really clever technical builds, maybe try to play a slow late game. He tried to out-multitasking Raynor. Somehow he took 2 maps in that grand finals, even though Raynor is considered 2 or 3 times faster than he is. In this game, though, once again, Q making this decision off over 90 workers to go for multi-prong aggression when he doesn't have the army advantage. That's a wild choice, and I have to be critical because when you play 95 workers, I think, okay, no. Oh, I guess he wasn't really playing Turtle late game. He was playing Maru style. I still think even with Maru style, you should stop at 90 workers. You shouldn't go to 95 or 100. But we'll talk about that style and break it down in the replay because right now he's got to defend a big attack here. Command centers, juicy targets here. If Dark can take down those building command centers, that could finish this game off. Baneling's rolling forward right now. Planetary getting overwhelmed. Where are the Widow Mines? There's just not many. 1 Widow Mine fires, gets a few Banelings, but 3 command centers going down. The Ultra Baneling cascading over the front. It's an absolute cascade of Banelings, a waterfall, or as they say in the Japanese, I believe it's a Bukaki, something like that. Anyways, the hatchery goes down on the other side, but this is not crucial damage. Dark can afford to lose a hatchery and a couple of drones. He doesn't even lose drones because he runs away. And you need to have the numbers at home. Dark refusing to fight where Kua wants, and the moment Kua offers the multi-prong, Dark, he doesn't take the, he doesn't buy the bluff. He says, oh, you're gonna multitask? You want to fight here and here? How about we double it? I will, a double or nothing. I'll micro multitask 3-4 places at once. I am a Chaos Lord. Also, I'm a Zerg player. My units are faster. They require a little bit less micro to do their job. As a Terran, it's a bit different. Oh, he does find a lot of drones back there. Oh, no! But doesn't matter. You can hide in the back of Helm's Deep however you want. Gandalf and his Baneling warriors, the Baneling Rohirrim, do come on the dawn of the third day. And it looks like Dark is going to be able to rescue that situation. Very nicely done for Dark. Takes out Widowmine. Takes out 3 Marines of the second Bile. He's got Kua pinned. And just to give you guys a breakdown on Kua stars, he's going to GG at any moment. He's just accepting defeat right now. Yeah, Maru's style, you build a crazy big economy. You don't really build a lot of orbitals. You just keep building command centers. And then you just multi-prong on the flanks of the map with Biomine. And you basically just look to keep attacking and wearing down the Zerg player. And it works really well if the Zerg accepts being defensive. It's like a great way to beat a Solar who just sits at home defending until live tech. But a guy like Dark who's going to move across the map and just jump in your face and kill you, like the fact that you've got 95 workers, your army supply is not that good, and you're going to have to multitask like 3-4 places at once. Basically, as a default with this style, I don't think it plays to Kua's strengths. Kua, his weakness is his multitasking, so not the wisest style for him to play, in my opinion. I do really think it's tough, but it seems like mech just isn't in his wheelhouse. And that's surprising to me, because I think if there was ever a map pool to have some really good battle mech play, Neon Violet and King's Cove are the maps for it. Dark there gets the GG. And let's do a bit more of a comprehensive breakdown of that situation where everything went wrong. Okay, guys, so this is the point where I really feel Kua went crazy mode. He moves down with most of his army on that side. He's got a drop there, and he's saying, cool. A lot of Zergs will just accept being defensive because you've been in their face with drops already. And you can just keep pressuring them, and the Zerg just gets stuck in their corner, and you're like, stim in, kill some creep, kill some stuff, pick up, fly away. These guys push in, big biomine spread, take a good efficient fight, pull away, reinforce, push it again. And you just keep pushing these fights, and naturally, whenever you're dictating where the fights happen, you'll take good trades. You also don't care if you lose a few Marines and Marauders because you've got 95 workers, right? And you just continue to build planetaries everywhere. It's usually the way Maru does this. Very slow transition into extra orbitals. You see there's no mass orbital behind it. It's just, I got 8 barracks, 2 factories, let's go. And you'll just keep taking planetaries around the map and just expanding and trying to, it's almost like you're trying to out-expand the Zerg and almost drown them in numbers. And it was really cool when Maru was doing that style really well, but even Maru would get in trouble where he'd be like beating a guy like Dark, and then Dark would just grab his whole army and run up the middle. And Maru's whole army would be like 70% of Maru's army's here, 30% here, 95 workers, and Dark on like 70 drones would just grab 80% of his army and just shove on the production and just win the game. And Maru's army was like, well, we'll dive and kill 2 or 3 hatcheries. But Dark just runs his drones away. He can replace those hatcheries so easily. He reinforces enough banelings to eventually defend. Whereas your production's gone, you're just dead. And this happened a bunch with this style. And I never really believed in this Maru 95 worker mass planetary biomine style, but especially not on a giant map like this, playing multitasking, Kua versus Dark. Dark's better at multitasking than Kua, hands down. I mean, Kua is a very technical, fantastic macro player, good at slow, careful positioning on his pushes. I think this style basically plays to all of Dark's advantages and not Kua's. And like I said, I referenced that Rainer series because I think it was Rotterdam who pointed out at the time, he had a death segment before that Gamers 8 finals where Kua played him, and he said, Kua's got to do some clever builds, like really use his macro, his timing attack prowess. Don't just get into a multitasking war with Rainer. That's where you're disadvantaged. So do anything you can to keep it technical. Keep it, And then we went into a series, and Kua basically just threw the kitchen sink at Rainer and turned every game into a multitasking fest. And he did pretty good. Like, he actually outperformed what we thought Kua could do in that scenario, but it was still playing not to his strengths, and it was to his opponent's strengths. So maybe you could call this a little bit of fight IQ issue for Kua in terms of the strategic choices. I think it's really easy to throw that accusation, though, at a Terran when they're playing on a map like King's Cove. This map plays against him to start with, and I think Kua goes into this already with the mindset of let's just try something different, because I don't think he has a lot of faith in his abilities on this map. So we got to give him credit. He did really well. Having to play Neon Violet and then King's Cove against Dark is a nightmare. The fact that this was a 4-2 series is actually pretty damn good. So not to be critical on Kua or too overly critical there. Just wanted to break down, in my view, kind of what's going on. And I think it's really hard to find a way to avoid a multitasking war in Zerg versus Terran as well as a final point, because I do think Q is a fantastic player, and his Terran versus Zerg has really picked up recently, but he wants to keep it on mid-sized to small maps. I don't think he wants to play these giant ones, which aren't usually in the competitive pool at the moment. Anyway, that's enough now. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this series. Shout out to Dark. He is really on the cusp of going to military, guys. I think Pigfest 6, which is coming up very, very soon, about a week's time, is going to be his very last tournament, I believe, before he's fully in the military. So, as I believe he's already been called up and everything. So, yeah, get excited for Dark. It's going to be his last few weeks of StarCraft 2. And good to see him performing well here at the actual twilight of his career. After 5 years of hearing he's about to go to the military, apparently he actually is about to go. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time. Goodbye and good night.